Hello and welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
This is a new
everybody.
podcast.
It might have been like demon possessed. It was a fairly large, mutated looking chicken.
We were born in the north, but we grew up in the south.
We learned all of our words from Pennsylvania.
And people are that's toboggan. That little toboggan.
Not
there.
a toboggan. Toboggan is a sled. Okay.
0.3 inches, baby.
Dude, I can't take it.
Someone at work today.
Yep.
We have morning meetings every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he came up to the morning meeting. This is a guy that he eats like Pop-Tarts and Coke every morning
Yep.
for his breakfast.
Ew.
I don't know what he eats for like lunch for his normal
He needs to
meals.
change that to toast and coffee, man.
I mean, he's an old man. He's decently healthy. He's still alive, and he's an old man, so I think he's fine. It's just he came to the morning, and he's like making this face. He was freaking out, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And he's like, "Coffee. It tastes terrible. It's like dirt." And
An old man
Yeah, and I
doesn't
was
like
like-
coffee.
I was like, "Yeah, that's delicious. Having dirt tasting coffee. That's the way to go." And he's like, "Yeah, it does taste like dirt." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you drink.
That's why
dirt.
we like
That's
it.
Coffee."
As you get older, your palate changes. Apparently his never did.
Well, he literally has Pop-Tarts and
Coke. What's his
Coke.
tooth game?
Decent.
Decent. You sure he doesn't have fakes?
No, he doesn't have fakes. Because they're crooked. I can tell they're a little bit crooked, but they're not like insanely crooked. They're,
Well,
he's good.
he must take care of his teeth, I guess.
Yeah, he does.
Anyways.
He just likes his sweets. It's not like he's not into.
I like
coffee.
sweets, but gosh dang it, that you can't go through life just acting like a kid. Sometimes you gotta limit yourself because you gotta, like, overindulging on sweets your whole life can easily lead to becoming diabetic. Easily. And there's a whole host of other reasons, but diabetes is one of the big ones. And when you get older, you gotta set up your life to not have people take care of you, you know?
I don't think people are gonna take care of him. He's decently in age, and he's
You think he'll
doing
just
good.
be kicking until he kicks it?
Hmm.
Gotcha. Hey, it's the week of the new year.
Yes, sir. It is.
We're glad you're here with us on this episode a few days before 2021 arrives. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
What?
Praise the Lord that 2021 is here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you look back fondly on 2020?
Some parts of it, yeah.
Some parts of it. What are some of those parts?
Moving. A lot of things happened this year. Moving to Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Name them all off quick.
There's things going through my head, but they're not like, I don't know, big or I don't know.
Say them.
Moving to Virginia with really good ease.
Yeah. What?
Just
We
learning
hit
some
100
things.
episodes.
Yeah.
10,000 views on the channel.
Yeah.
We got over 100 subscribers on the channel.
Yeah.
Have some awesome view counts on some of these videos, and this is just in the world of the podcast.
Yeah.
Then you get into other things like you got a good job making good money. I got a good job making good money outside of what we do here. We did Greater Remembering. We went and saw our hometown.
Yep.
We went to Maranatha.
Yep.
We got to camp a little tiny bit this year at
Nope.
Maranatha.
No, we had a camping trip, and everybody who we planned it with, they chickened out. So.
I know, but we still got a chance to at least
So, yep.
sleep in a tent this year, which we don't do every year. When was the last time you slept in a tent?
I live in a tent.
No, you don't.
No,
I live
have
in
an
a tent.
apartment.
Sometimes it can feel like how small it is. It can feel like a tent.
I don't know. My apartment's decent size. I mean,
Well, yours is, yeah.
I have a little bit bigger of apartment than you because
We're
have
trying
a
to save that
roommate
money. Yeah.
and
Gonna save
not
that
married.
money.
I'm single, so I'm not spending my money on anything except for my room,
Mm-hmm.
and it's decent.
What is it things you're looking forward to the new year?
A lot.
Okay.
I'm gonna be 24 in
Now you're an old
20.
man. Now you're an old man.
No, 25 is an old man.
No.
No. I got some things, which I don't know if we can talk about this on the podcast. Well, we can. It's not like we can't.
It's our
just,
podcast.
I don't know if it's something you'd want to talk about on the
Okay.
podcast. My birthday's coming up in March. Not too long away. Not too far
I
away.
thought you were about to say, my birthday's coming up in May.
March.
That's your mom's house podcast reference.
For real?
I'm coming up in May.
I don't know anything about that. but
Okay.
in March, and I got some plans on things I want to do.
What you want to do?
Back some money, and I'm gonna ask you if you want to do them with me. You want to go skydiving?
No.
I'm serious. There's a place up in Norfolk, really close to us, like 20 minutes away, that does skydiving. I looked them up. Their prices are about $250 to $275 for a jump.
No.
Mm.
I don't want to.
Mm.
Scared of heights.
Yeah, but that's the thing about living and experiencing things.
Oh,
I'm ready
gosh.
2020 was a year of being in quarantine, and I couldn't yeet myself. So I'm gonna yeet.
You're going to yeet right out of an airplane.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, Joshua. That you're building up with some serious anxiety inside of me.
That's why you gotta breathe and control your anxiety.
What is going to be. Joshua, can you grab that chocolate from Fiona?
Chocolate from Fiona. Fiona can't have chocolate.
Cats can't have chocolate. Is it a wrapper? Give it to me.
No, it's a full-size chocolate.
Give it to me. I'm going to put it right here. In celebration for the new year.
I've had a couple Christmas cookies, but no candy this year yet.
No, really?
Mm.
I just had like 2 Reese's cups a few minutes ago. And man, and then I sucked on a peppermint, and dude, nothing makes you feel like Christmas when you're sucking on a peppermint. I mean, actually, nothing makes you feel like Christmas like sucking on a peppermint.
Could not say the last time I had a peppermint.
Peppermint stick.
Peppermint stick.
Yeah, dude.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the new year, man. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. What was your Christmas like, Joe? It's not.
It was a
yet.
little bit sucky. Everybody got food poisoning. That's probably bad. I shouldn't
Yeah,
say
I
that.
shouldn't say that.
Because it has not happened yet, and I was joking, but it probably will now.
No, just knock on some tables. Now, we're still waiting for Christmas. It's a few days of Christmas. We're doing this episode early because not only the holidays, but we're always a week ahead, right?
Yeah.
Always a week ahead. That's why it makes things hard to talk about relevant topics in the like news world or the
Sometimes.
industry stuff because we're usually about a week behind.
Yeah.
Like there's this one thing I wanted to react. I was thinking about reacting to a audio clip of Tom Cruise freaking out. Did you hear about this?
Mm-mm.
Tom Cruise basically had a big meltdown on a couple people in regards to not being COVID safe on set for a movie. And it was huge. And I wanted to react to it, but by the time this will come out, it will be like 2 weeks old. Should we still react to it?
Yeah.
You think we should?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I could find it and I'll play it. I need to make sure I get the censored version because if I don't, then I'll have to do my own bleeps. Let's see. Tom Cruise.
Cussing at everybody. I mean, it's not, it's always, actors always freak out at certain things and everybody has to, everybody is judging them for it.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently there are things about it's
was
kind
he
of
filming, you
rumor
think?
about I don't know, one of his movies, but it's kind of rumored about what he was freaking out about specifically. Let's see, Gets Mad original because there's just a lot of people reacting to it already. Man, this is gonna be harder than I thought. I should have prepared for this, but
you should have.
okay, this
I'm
might
gonna
be
bring it
it.
up.
Tom Cruise yell at Mission Impossible 7 staff for breaking COVID.
Oh.
Let me see if I hope this is censored. Hold on. Let me skip ahead to make sure that this is censored before I put it up to the
Yeah.
mic. Yep. All right, here we go.
Go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Oh, let me see the screen. So I can-
There's no video.
Oh.
Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers.
Producer.
And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs. I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too. And you too. And you. Don't you ever do it again.
He's just going off, man.
What did they do?
I'll talk about the rumors in a second.
No apologies. You can tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down. It's not going to put food on their table or pay for their college education.
College education.
Are you hearing this okay?
That's what I sleep with every night.
Wow. He acts like he's got so much on his
Shoulders
shoulders.
only half done.
Okay, that's good.
You don't want to keep going?
No, we don't listen to the whole thing.
All right, so did you kind of get the gist? All right, so obviously there was something up with people not holding COVID restriction rules very tightly, so they're probably being pretty lenient. I've heard rumors that there was some kind of, like they were in an editing room or whatever, or some kind of at a computer and they weren't being 6 feet apart. That's probably rumor, and I don't know. I think I saw some videos going around about like what happened, but it's still like, at least at this point, it's not clear. And so, but pretty much he was just freaking out about people not being COVID compliant on set. What do you think of his reaction? Because what he's saying is not wrong. It's being very considerate of people losing their jobs, and they don't want the film to shut down because they are employing thousands of people, right? If there's an outbreak or something. But at the same time, he's threatening these people that he's talking to, their jobs if he sees it again. He's being like really aggressive, obviously. I mean, super aggressive. You know, he's a Scientologist, so he might get some of that.
What? That has nothing to do with this.
It does, kind of. I mean, Scientologists are known for being, Scientology is known for being pretty abusive.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't talk about Scientology.
No.
All right, so what do you think, man?
I don't know. I mean, all actors freak out at one point, and actors aren't what you see in front of a camera. So I don't know Tom Cruise personally, so I don't want to judge him and say this and that, and I don't know the circumstance, so I can't say.
Yeah.
I don't want to judge him.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's my opinion. I can't say because I don't know the circumstance, and I don't know the whole thing and what he going through his mind and all that stuff.
Okay, so I think for me, I think he should have kept his cool, but what he was saying was not wrong. If I was in that position, and this was like only happened one time or something, or maybe I think he might have mentioned in that soundbite that he's seen it happen a couple times, and so he's kind of had it up to here or whatever. But I think he definitely should have kept his cool. Shouldn't have responded that way. But what he was saying wasn't wrong. And so they do need to be considerate. If there are rules in place and they're set in place by the company that employs you, then you have to follow those rules, you know? Same with us. Like, my company's really strict on I can't walk around the building I work out without a mask on, you know? I get temperature checked every day, and we have zones, so I can't go in certain zones that I don't qualify to go into. So people aren't just wandering around the building, you know, potentially spreading viruses or something. It doesn't matter how I feel about it personally. I work for this company, they pay me, and they set up these rules, so you have to follow them. That's pretty much what he was saying there. They're employing a lot of people, they don't want to get shut down.
Yeah.
So he was right, but he definitely lost his cool. Maybe we could learn something from it, like, hey, you can be completely right, but also try to be more, don't lose your cool about it, I guess. Try to keep a level head, even in really anger-provoking situations, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that's something going on right now. It goes back to what I was saying about it's hard to be current, I guess, with new stuff because we're like 2 weeks ahead or a week ahead.
Yeah, we are. We have to edit the podcast. We are editing it ourselves, so we have to be a little ahead, but it's still relevant. I mean, it's people are still watching. I mean, people.
And people that watch us might not have even heard of it
Yeah.
until now.
But yeah, I guess. But let's go back to New Year.
Mm-hmm.
You got any plans for the New Year?
Yeah. Esther and Tim are coming.
Our
Staying.
friends, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming to hang out with us. New Year's Eve, they're going to be driving up. And then, if all goes well, the plan
Yeah.
goes well, they're going to be coming up. They're going to be hanging with us for the weekend.
For
So,
real?
I'm
All
guessing
weekend?
by proxy, you as well.
All weekend?
Yeah.
Like,
they'll probably
after?
leave Sunday so they can get to work on Monday. But yeah, they're coming up New Year's Eve, hanging out. They might be in later past 12. They're staying for New Year's Day, staying through probably Sunday or so. But they just want to see the area, hang out. They haven't visited us here yet, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But that's what I got planned. It's
I
coming
was
up.
talking about more. I know you're talking about New Year, but I was talking about the whole year in general.
Oh.
You got any plans?
Oh, yes, I got lots of plans. I don't know what... Okay, first off, we can say, as we've said multiple times, and I don't want to annoy you, but we're going to be taking like a 2-week break or something where you won't see stuff.
Is that it? 2 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
I thought it was 3, but okay.
I don't think so. I don't think for us, because we're jumping back on recording.
Okay.
But we're taking a small break once the new year hits, and then after that, we'll be coming into season 7. And so we have, I have a lot of ideas about what season 7 should look like.
Yeah.
We are setting up a place that this studio will permanently reside for a while.
Yeah.
Over in the extra room at your apartment instead of here in mine. And so it can just be set up in there. And why it's going to be over there, why it's going to be joining us on these video versions of the podcast, which would be awesome. I feel like we're going to be structuring the podcast in a way that lines up a little bit more on branding. So we'll probably be doing a lot of videos where we break down like geeky topics.
Yeah.
So we've said this in the past, things like the complete life of Gollum from Lord of the Rings, or the complete storyline from start to finish of, I don't know, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Darth Maul. Things of these nature, things of this nature that are fun to talk about and lighthearted, yet super fascinating. And the things that's so cool about it is you get so in depth with what the writers and creators came into, and so it doesn't just go by unnoticed. We get to dissect the minds of these brilliant people through these characters they created.
Yeah.
That's exciting to me. That's fun. There's other things we're gonna be talking about, keep telling stories and such, but that's kind of like what we're seeing for the new year here.
Podcast.
What are you seeing for the podcast?
For the podcast or?
Yeah. What are you seeing?
Very similar to what you're saying. We're going to keep doing the video form
Of course.
a couple times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Couple times a week.
Couple times.
And still doing the midnight special once a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, I guess we'll have to see. Our dynamic, we haven't, yes, we still have a video form or audio form with Wyatt right now, but John Mark's involved and he's not part of the video. We've been doing this for a couple years now, so we've gotten kind of a rhythm.
Yeah,
And there's
at
definitely
least with
gonna
each
be-
other.
Yeah, there's going to be a wrench thrown in there a little bit. Not a bad one, it's just
tossing a wrench.
that's what happens.
It's
So
it happens
when
all
you
the
throw in another person.
There's going to be
and
slight growing pains, probably.
a little
That
bit.
may come across, may not at all. So, but good ones,
Yeah.
because it stretches us.
And
And
then
it's exciting.
also new space, I guess.
Yeah.
There's some things we have to work through with that, but we'll get them situated and everything.
Yeah,
and
by time season
we'll get
7
it
rolls around
worked
for
out
sure.
and see what we can do.
Yeah. There's a lot of ideas I have swirling in my head about what we're doing in 2021. And so there are things that we've mentioned here on the podcast that you haven't seen because they've been on the back burner. Things, there are things around that need to be finished, that need to be written that need to be started on, and those are starting up in the new year. There's a lot of opportunity for us to grow in, especially leading into little sketches like we did with Greater Remembering. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to really lean into that side of things.
Yeah.
Relatively often, especially with Wyatt. Wyatt's talked about on the Midnight Special. He's got an acting desire.
Yeah.
And he is naturally comfortable on camera, very confident.
Yeah.
I think he will be a great addition to that side of things. I was thinking we could do like an expanding of the characters from Greater Remembering, make him Mr. Gimbals or Old Man Gimbals. If you haven't seen that episode, go look up Greater Remembering.
Okay. Yeah, we could do some things with that. I would like to, this is kind of a goal I'm setting for myself. I want to get into more photography. So I think I'm going to set a goal of doing at least one photo shoot a week.
That sounds good. That sounds really good. Got to do it to get it.
Yeah. So I'm going to do one photo shoot a week. And
you're going to try to get these paid gigs, or maybe paid as they come?
Paid as they come, but free-ish. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And what kind of things are you interested in taking pictures of? Well, first, explain why you're so drawn to photography, and then explain what you have envisioned in your mind of what you want to take pictures of, because pictures is kind of taboo. What are you going to do that's interesting?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had, when it comes to photography, videography, all this stuff, you hear a lot of creators say these words of, I'm going to be unique and authentic to myself. Well, yes, there's a part that's unique, but most of the time, when they're creating content, they're taking pieces and they are mimicking other creators. Most of the time, it's going to be some form of Peter McKinnon.
Yeah.
At least in the circles we're around.
Yeah, but in most circles. I mean, Peter McKinnon is
really big
4
right
million
now.
Subscribers or something like that.
Peter McKinnon is really big in the photography, videography circles right now because of YouTube and because of everything he's done.
Instagram.
So there's a lot of creators that are our age that are mimicking his style. I want to try to authentically create content that is not mimicking anybody's style, but also capturing a lot of that patina from people.
Okay.
That we've talked about before.
Yeah. And patina is a sub-level of branding for this podcast. And so it leaks not just into your photography, but it leaks into other things you're doing. You know, a lot of the motivation behind this podcast comes into growing a patina to how we do a show, how we talk, how we communicate, how we bring information to other people that's fun, lighthearted, educational, things of that nature. And so that's been it's one of the motivations that's kind of like a symbol of what this can become. And so how do you think what ideas are swirling in your head to try to capture some patina with your photography to make it unique and not a copy of Peter McKinnon?
I mean, I've got a few ideas. I don't want to talk about any of them. You just have to see and see how it comes out. We'll just say that because I don't have anything I can talk about really on the podcast that is like, I'm going to do this type thing. But I've got a few ideas.
What days are you thinking about doing photography? Like weekends?
It's got to be weekends. I mean, I'm a pretty busy guy, but we'll see. Just play it by ear.
Yeah. Something I'd like to see a lot this year is there is a big project we're attempting in a very serious way that I'm not going to give you information on, and you might not hear about this till way later, maybe not towards the end of next year. But there's a big project we're attempting that's going to be a big side of my outlet with filmmaking, storytelling side for this year. Then also sketches, and this podcast is another big outlet and a regular content outlet. I'd also like to really advance some into even doing freelance work for small businesses for small, short IGTV videos that are like 2 minutes or less. Kind of Peter McKinnon style of video, but promos of telling stories of small business that are artistic, that show the art behind what they do in crafting and painting, in woodworking, in their own version. Like if there's a videographer that's doing cool stuff, maybe I could do a small little video promo about that person, you know, and show them doing their craft. And so I'd like to dive into that WiseWorks Create vein a little bit on a regular basis this coming year, as sort of like just to build my reputation, not only for this area, but also online a little bit. I feel like this year I've kind of felt the need to try some things I haven't done and start working on, there are a couple of things we're pursuing as a career. Me specifically. I'll talk about me. I'll say me because I don't want to project onto you at all. But there are things that I'm trying to pursue to pay for, for bills, for living expenses, to be my career. Filmmaking and storytelling's a big main one. Things like this podcast is a new form of media that is awesome, that I believe can easily be done through longevity for as long as we want it to, you know? And so I'm wanting to kind of branch out a little bit, and in sort of more of a hobby slash side hustle way, kind of delve into this world a little deeper of artistic, very short documentary storytelling promo videos, you know? And so,
yeah, we don't have any of those in the work right now.
And also I'm going to start, none of those right now, which it's going to take some work. I mean, that's really the hardest part.
There's none even sitting in the editing software right now. There's none. We don't have any.
Well, I have a longer one that's like 10 minutes or 8 minutes or something like that. That is waiting on you. It's waiting on you.
Hey, I had COVID. Give me a little break.
Well, you haven't had COVID for 2 weeks, so.
You know what I did during those 2 weeks? Let me explain myself. I was resting up from COVID. Even though I didn't have COVID, I'm still tired from COVID.
Okay. Well, you don't have to explain yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't chastise me, because I'm waiting on you, because you said you'd help me with something. Anyways, I'd like to start doing things like wedding videos and start branding them under WiseWorks Create. Okay. I would like to start taking the things I do for freelance and start branding it under WiseWorks Create.
Are we going to start putting it under the Create channel? I like that idea.
And also probably take aspects of those things that I found interesting and do short information videos and teach people how I did those tricks. Just the simple stuff. Just because I don't particularly like giving away a lot of information and like becoming an education channel, but I like passing on cool tricks and being excited about those things. So I made one that a while ago that was a little bit longer than I think it should have been on this channel about how I did the TIE Fighter, the TIE Fighter in the short film I did.
So I mean, this is just us kind of talking about what we're wanting in plans wise on this podcast. But are we gonna? Because I know you have a lot of like wedding videos and freelance stuff you've done already. Are we going to kind of use that as a backlog and start releasing stuff in 2021?
I think I might start with the one I just did.
Okay, and then you're not going to release anything else?
Nothing before that, because there's a level of skill that if I'm starting to upload, I want it to be at the current level I'm at and let it grow from there. I don't want to release a backlog of stuff that I know is not as good, but just because I did it, you know what I mean? I don't want to have that representing me today when it represented me 5 years ago, you know what I mean? And so, no, I'm not going to do backlog thing. It would probably just start with the one I just did and stuff I'm doing moving forward, you know?
Okay.
Along with that other piece that we just have to get done.
Piece?
Which
Wait,
is just,
what piece? Something that...
Which I told her it would be done by now.
Whew.
I told her.
True.
So I'm going back on my word.
Yeah. My guy, you told me it was going to be done
a long time ago.
You were working on it. You filmed it before I moved.
Yeah.
I was not involved because you did it before I moved.
Yeah, I'm really screwing
been
up
here
on
for-
this thing.
Let's think about that. I know this is kind of just recapping the year and just thinking about 2021, the big 2021.
One. You just said it.
I've been here since the end of March. The day I moved was March 28th,
Mm-hmm.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
2020. I said 2021. I don't know why. So that is how many months? I mean, it's December now, so that's going to be 10 months. No. I mean, 9, like 12 minus 3, whatever that is. 9.
Okay. 9
months.
9 months
Yeah.
that you've been here.
Mhm.
Do you like it here?
You know,
Correct move?
it would be more
correct
It
move.
would be more fun if we like lived somewhere like Italy or France or so. No, I'm
No.
kidding. No, I mean
You're
we're,
always just going to compare.
we're close to the beach. I like that. I will say 2020,
COVID,
because of
2020
COVID,
screwed the
yeah,
beach.
I have not done much, so I think 2021 is going to be getting out and experiencing Virginia to a whole new light that I have not seen yet.
Yeah, if they have which they already do have the vaccine
Mhm.
available. So there is no question in my mind that if they have the vaccine available, then all of a sudden they're going to stop reporting it, because then they said, oh, if you got sick, or even if you got deathly sick, it's because you didn't take the vaccine, so that's your fault. They've been on lockdown because if someone got sick, it's nobody's fault. So they're trying to protect everybody.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, COVID's not going to be as big of a deal once the vaccine is readily available for all people.
Yeah, hopefully.
And that's definitely going to be here by summer. It has to be. Why
It has
wouldn't
to
it
be here
be?
by February. I said February on a couple episodes ago.
You think
I
it'll be readily available for everyone by February and COVID's going to be done?
It better be, man.
Dude, imagine life going back to normal.
No, not wearing masks. Hey, that's weird to me. See, man, we're so messed up. You know, it's gonna take years for us to get over 2020.
Yeah, I walked out of my... oh, sorry.
My God,
I walked out
I'd
of
be
my...
texting you.
Papa Dust.
Dust.
I walked out of my car at work today.
Yep.
I didn't have my mask on. I was walking, and instantly I'm like, I feel naked. And I didn't know what it was.
That happens to me all the time.
And then I remembered, oh, I can't go in the building unless I have a mask. And it made me kind of want to cry. I was like, I was feeling good, and all of a sudden I had a sense in my body that something was off.
I've been wearing a mask for so long that I made it a point, which I had COVID. I do not have COVID, and I can't get COVID because I had COVID.
Having COVID, do you recommend people try to avoid this sickness? Having had COVID.
We're not talking about COVID.
You
trying
did.
to-
You brought it up. You said, I had COVID. I don't have COVID.
What I was gonna
but
say,
I had
let
it.
me get back to my story, my guy. I made it a point. I walked into a place that doesn't require you to wear a mask, but the employees wear masks, and everybody around you is basically wearing masks because it's just expected at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any signs saying you have to wear a mask to come in this building.
Mm-hmm.
I made it a point to not wear a mask to go in the building, and I felt weird.
Mm-hmm. You felt like you were doing something wrong. You felt like it basically probably felt like you weren't wearing a shirt in a public place.
I like that sometimes.
It's not like not wearing a shirt at the beach. It's like going into Walmart without a shirt on.
I like that sometimes, though. We live in the South. Oh, we did. For
This
the
isn't
majority
much of
our
the
life.
South. A lot of people call Virginia the South. I'm sorry. There are locals that's been here forever that like have a Southern accent, but Virginia is barely the South.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, we lived in South Carolina, around North Carolina, and those places for a long time. We've been to Tennessee many times. Georgia. We've been in the South.
The big
I've been to
G-A.
Texas twice.
Yeah.
Stayed there once. Had a layover another time.
Did you eat steak when you were there? I'm just curious.
Yes.
For real?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had steak. That's sad.
I had steak this week
I have not had steak.
or last week.
Last time I had steak is when I came over here and you guys were cooking it and you're like, you can have a piece of it.
We usually have a steak that we get like a small steak, cut it in half, and have a little miniaturized steak dinner around once a week because it's steak super keto and it's really good food. And although we're not perfect at keto, we try to limit. We try to create as many meals as possible that
Yeah.
carbs are not involved. You know, we don't try to just pack on carbs every single meal.
Is keto making you lose hair? I'm just curious.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Do I look baldy?
Not balding, but it seems like your hair's getting shorter and shorter every time I see you.
Yeah, because I cut it.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah,
Why?
because I wanted it.
Because you're upset that you're eating keto, so you're like, oh, I got to do something to spice my life up.
No, do you ever get like
your-
the sense where? Do you ever get the sense in your life where you feel like people don't either respect you
Mhm.
or they feel like you could just easily be taken advantage of because people just see you as like a victim or a target? You know what I mean? And you start feeling really insecure, less of a man, less powerful, less authoritative as a human.
See, no, because I like to be who I am. I'm not saying this to, because I know
Are
what
you
point
saying, okay, go ahead.
finish? Okay, I know what you're saying. You're trying to say
Don't
that-
say what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
I'll let you finish your thought. This is my thought on what you're saying. I'm not saying this for you because this is how I feel and I like this. I just like being the way I want to be, just being confident in what I'm doing, wearing, or like the style I have. And then when I start knowing me and actually get to know things I do and who I am as a person, they are very surprised and they're like, you're doing a lot and you have a lot more to you than what people see when they see you at first.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Mhm.
I can see what you're saying. For me, I see the world very differently.
Yeah.
If I start feeling weak or like I could be victimized in something, I'm going to find an easy way out of that, out of those emotions, because it's not like I'm actually being, you know what I mean? But I have strange emotions sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't deal with anxiety unless I feel like other people are in distress, which is worse than if I'm not going to say it's worse.
Anxiety.
I have sympathetic anxiety. I'm never worried about myself. Because the thing is, about myself, if I start feeling like pity party or I start feel like you're just emotionally weak, man, well, what I do is I have these routines of different things. I either stop. Now, you think I don't ever care about what I wear or what I will look like. But I
don't-
do on my level. And so what I do is if I feel that way, I start to wear things that like a hoodie with like my old, like that hoodie right there, the Truck Supply hoodie. I wear that because it's like hoodie and it has my old work logo that I worked at for 3 years that I did hard work at. I wear that and remind myself, hey, you used to be this person. You're still this person. You know what I mean? And also it's not super stylish. And so it's like, just get hard, man. Life's not about looking good.
Get hard.
And then
You
with cutting my
getting
hair,
hard.
stop derailing me. And then when I cut my hair,
Yeah.
It's kind of a message to myself to remind myself, first off, you have good hair, but your hair is not important. And then secondly, sometimes I just want to make sure that I feel like I'm strong, and then I'm like a pit bull going through life. So I don't want to be some teenage boy with swooped hair or whatever, you know? Sometimes I want to be, I don't care. I just want to be tough. And cutting your hair short can remind you of that easily, especially as a guy, at least for me.
Okay. That's cool. I do like the hair, but you should completely just buzz cut it rather than give yourself a small mohawk that looks weird.
I would get Kenzie to cut it, and she does what she can sometimes. Sometimes it's awesome. Sometimes it's like okay, but it's not awesome.
Okay. I'm not criticizing. My hair's actually really bad right now. That's why I'm wearing a hat, because guess what? When I go back for Christmas, which Christmas is it's already passed when this comes out, but it hasn't happened yet. It's right before Christmas. I'm getting my hair cut at Christmas, and I'm excited.
Is it Cynthia cutting it?
Our sister, yeah.
How are you gonna
'cause she went
style it?
Maybe you should wait and see. It's gonna be a little tease.
Tease.
People
People are gonna have to wait multiple weeks. No, they would just have to wait till next week because
Yeah.
we're coming out with one more episode for this season.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna tell me though?
We'll see. You're gonna have to see, and you're not probably gonna see it because until actually Christmas, because how your routine is for Christmas. You're going down a little bit early. You get off a couple of days earlier than me from work. You're going to go down, spend some time with some friends, and then Mackenzie's family.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll see you on Christmas Day probably.
Yeah.
I'm coming down early, or not early. I have to work on Christmas Eve, but I'm gonna try to get my hair cut Christmas Eve night when I get there.
Really?
Mm.
Think you'll be getting off soon enough?
Yeah.
Think you'll make the trip quick enough?
Mm-hmm.
What is going to be your routine? Like, are you pretty much?
What do you mean
Are you
my
seeing
routine?
friends? Or are you just going to see the family? What are you gonna do?
This is my routine. I'm gonna go see family. I'm gonna sleep at our family's house. That's kind of weird for me to say, but I'm gonna go like
You're
I'm
staying with
going-
the parents.
Yeah, I'm going for this is weird to me. I keep thinking Christmas is Saturday. It's not. It's Friday. Leaving Thursday right after work. Probably get off 1 or 2. Make the trip to South Carolina. Spend the night with family. We'll do Christmas stuff Christmas Day. I'll play it by ear how Christmas night turns out. If it's settled down, because we normally do the breakfast thing for Christmas.
Yeah.
Our family's
breakfast.
known for the breakfast thing, and so by lunch, people are kind of settling down. Usually, maybe taking a nap. It's a good day for rest.
Not for me.
But you have other family.
But
I
we're talking
don't.
about your schedule.
Yes. We'll see what happens that night. I don't want to commit to anything, but I'm probably going to be open. I don't have any plans. Saturday, I'm going to extended family, and you're going to also be there. Extended family on Saturday. Spend the whole day there, basically, for me. You guys might spend like half a day there. I don't know what your plans are. I'm going to spend most of the day there because I haven't seen him. I saw him right before I moved for like a couple hours, but before that, it was Christmas. For
Yeah.
me. So really, I've only seen him since last Christmas.
Mm.
I'm going to spend most of the day, probably all of the day, with them, and then we'll see that night. If things kick off early, we'll see. I'll spend some time with friends that night. If not, then we'll see. And then Sunday, I'm going to get up decently early. I don't know. We need to talk about this off the podcast, but just what the plans are for Sunday, because
Gotcha.
we're going to Asheville, North Carolina for
Yes.
someone's wedding.
Yes. And a little bit vacation. It's
Yeah.
going to be a small wedding, and we're pretty much just doing a fun
Which is
little
on Monday,
secluded
but I'm
vacation in
leaving
Asheville.
to go from South Carolina to Asheville, North Carolina on Sunday, so I could be there for the wedding that's early on Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, it's not too different. Where you're going to Asheville, we're going Saturday. You're going Sunday morning. We're gonna be leaving Asheville after the family thing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Kenzie are actually going down Tuesday night, which is tomorrow night. I'm gonna be see our friend Seth most of the day Wednesday, and then I'm going to do Kenzie's family stuff. Kenzie is a big family, and so doing some stuff with Kenzie and her family Wednesday night. Some more stuff during the day Thursday, and then the Christmas Eve with her mom. And then we do our family Friday morning. Her dad, Kenzie's dad, Friday afternoon to evening.
I know you said Kenzie's mom, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's usually tradition in the South, where we're from, for people to go to what they call a Christmas Eve service,
Yes.
where they go, usually light some candles. I don't know what's up with the candles. It's kind of maybe like a Christmas and Hanukkah thing mixed together, and we sing
like
Silent Night.
Yeah.
But do you guys go to? I know her.
Are we? Or what are you
yeah,
saying?
I'm just curious. Do you
We
guys
are
normally?
not.
Okay.
We do normally, yeah, but we're not this year because we're already. The thing, like, Kenzie's going to be starting school a couple weeks after New Year. I'm going straight back to work. And so the people we're being around is to be very limited.
Okay. Which it doesn't seem like it's limited, but okay.
It's a lot more limited than going to a Christmas Eve service.
That is true.
And so, especially being around people that we don't know what they've done or who they're with or what they're around, you know? At least with the people we're
Or where
going to
their
be
fingers
around.
have been,
Or where their fingers have been, what they put in their mouth.
or been up their nose.
Yeah. When COVID is done and life is less restricting, not only on us personally, but also in conjunction, like what Tom Cruise said earlier, with who employs us,
Yes.
then we'll happily go back to our Christmas Eve services. But this year, we're not doing it in person. We're going to be watching the stream at the house.
Yeah, I like the Christmas Eve service. I would like to go, but just because I have to work Christmas Eve to like early afternoon, I'm going to be driving down most likely, and I probably won't get there till they're either just about to finish up or finished up already.
Yeah.
So I probably won't be able to get there in time to go to anything.
I
But
just
would like
realized,
to.
sorry, I'm not cutting you off. I just realized we've been saying we're gonna, but it's already happened.
Yeah,
When people are saying
I
this.
acknowledge
We
that.
have, most likely.
Lord willing, if
The
creek
thing is,
don't rise.
and the creek don't rise, man. And the COVID don't rise.
And the
Lord
COVID
willing,
don't
and the
rise.
COVID don't rise. There's that's the thing. Plans has changed so quick this year, constantly. There's been 5, maybe 4. 5's an exaggeration if I'm being dramatic. Times where I had a trip scheduled to go to South Carolina to see people, to do something, whatever, and they got canceled
5
last
times?
minute. I'm being dramatic when I say 5, legitimately probably 3 or 4, okay?
I think I've only canceled
I've been
one
stuck
trip.
here in Virginia Beach
One trip.
so much this year.
You've been down there a lot this year. More than last year you came.
Yeah, way more than last year because I had more time to do that with the new job.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm starting to get hiccups.
My gay.
But yeah, anyway, towards the beginning of the year, I was doing more traveling before COVID really hit, and then once COVID hit, I felt kind of stuck here. The only time I went down once COVID really hit was, I think, one time to see the Gordons, one time to do that project in Columbia for Jake, then the other time to do the wedding. I haven't been since.
You didn't do 2 weddings? I thought you did 2 weddings.
Yeah, that was before COVID. Actually, no, it was right at the beginning of COVID when they first started shutdowns. Yeah, it was right at the beginning because it was kind of like people weren't sure, are we allowed to have a wedding? I don't know,
Yeah.
we're going to do it anyway. You know what I mean? And there wasn't many people there for that. But that was right at the beginning. So maybe I have done like 4 trips this year
Yeah.
during COVID.
There,
but still,
that reminds me.
I've canceled quite a few as well.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving for one.
Yeah, because some crazy crack dad got COVID.
Got COVID.
Some crazy, that's a word, crazy crack dad. I haven't said that on the podcast in a while.
Crazy crack daddy.
All you crazy crack dads out there getting that COVID and having a good time at Christmas. I hope you had a good time at Christmas. So that was our that's what our plans are hopefully going to be. They have already happened. Maybe they've morphed a little bit, but hopefully they've happened the way we want them.
From a place of mental stability, personal growth,
Yeah.
personal value adding. So we had a conversation about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Or was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. About adding value to your reputation,
Yeah.
to your name. I've said something about it. Have you thought about that at all?
A little bit.
What are your thoughts on it for this coming year?
Adding value
Because I already
to
know
my
you
name.
said about like the photography stuff,
Mhm.
but things that you do adds value. If they're done well, even if they're not done well, they give you a reputation.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to think, like, how are you implementing for success this coming year with your actions, with what projects you work on? With
Are you
your
talking about
art?
my plan? Or
Yes.
just what my thoughts are on it?
It's kind of your plan, but also how are you coming at it from a mental way, in a mental, just thinking it through, you know?
Yeah.
What's your mindset going into this year?
Well, I mean, let's go back to 2020 first.
Okay.
Because I moved.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say moving has caused me to get in that mindset. I had that mindset beforehand. It's probably been a couple years now. I've been thinking about that since we started this podcast, and I've been working on it. But I feel like moving was a huge step, and I'm still continuing to do stuff. There's been things that I'm doing in my personal life to just give myself value and make myself more educated and things like that. I've started on top of doing the work we do, this podcast, like learning to podcast better and be more comfortable in front of a camera, being more comfortable with talking to people in general because of the podcast. It makes things
I think
easier.
at this point we're gonna have to fake it till we actually make it,
Yeah.
because we've been doing it for so long. We should be good by this point.
I think we're decent.
We're better than when we started. But I think at this point we can't stop. We got to stop saying we're trying to become better podcasters. I know you're
Well,
always
no. I'm
always growing.
talking about 2020. So this is something that's past.
Oh.
Hopefully we're people
I got
think we're good now.
confused, I guess.
I hope people think we're good. We're better now.
Mhm.
I mean, even talk about the first episode that we were here together on in Virginia.
Yeah,
Together. Do you remember that episode?
yeah.
That was a weird episode.
It was.
I think so.
I have to go back and watch it. I can
It
tell
was.
you.
We were at the first apartment I lived at.
Yeah,
We used the
with
table.
white walls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird. Okay, but because of that, I think we've gotten better with the podcast. We're in person now. I'm just trying to be a better person with doing like Sober October, working out a lot more. Also, just getting more knowledge, reading some good books this year that has given me a little bit of thought in just how I think,
Yep.
making me a better person because I'm reading. Everybody should be reading, taking some knowledge in some way.
Okay.
I think that's part of most people who are very wealthy or just well known, or they're highly respected in the business world. I'll say
Yeah.
that. I don't want to say wealthy, and because wealth is not contributed to being a good person. You know.
Yeah.
Most of them that are well known and people know about because they're highly known in the business world or anything like that, most of them have a routine where they read at least a little bit each month, week, day, I don't know. You know, they have a routine of that, trying to get some knowledge in. So I've tried that a little bit this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is what are some ways you are planning on stretching yourself? We already mentioned photography. What else? What are things? Because I think starting a year, pushing yourself is good.
Yeah.
Because not only we've talked about this in past, but it allows you to find your threshold where you are at that point.
Yeah.
Getting through the holidays, because the holidays is a great excuse for you to just slow down and not
Yeah.
be as motivated.
I mean,
it is an excuse.
But it's a good time to allow yourself to do that.
Allow yourself to. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you do. So going into a new year, you got tax season rolling around.
Yep.
You got no big holidays coming up that are real expensive.
My birthday. But yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying things move a little quicker and your motivation shifts pretty dramatically once the
Yeah.
new year hits. And so what is the motivation? What are you going to do to push yourself to find your threshold at the beginning of this year? Because I could tell you a bunch of ones I have in mind.
Yeah. I mean, we already said it. I'm going to do at least one photo shoot a week for my photography. Work on that a lot. I want to I said I was reading books, but I really started reading more around Sober October. That was a kind of a challenge for myself during Sober October. So I used that time to read more, learn more, on top of working out and being sober-minded
Yeah.
that month. I also, during Sober October, I was working out a lot and trying to learn how to be balanced with my good health, like eating good, healthy food. You normally do keto, and so you were eating decent, but I used that time to eat completely clean most of it. I mean, there was a couple times I cheated and had a pizza, and I talked about eating a lot of donuts because I worked out for like 6 hours one day.
Yeah.
But eating clean and just being able to work out and eating clean and doing everything I do in a normal week and still being healthy, because that's part of when you work out a lot, you're really busy, you don't have time to eat right and keep your health up. Most of the time you're going to feel like you're a little bit down, you're sick and stuff. So, I mean, that's just normally when you're pushing yourself a lot. So I learned a lot with that, and I think I'm going to implement that starting in January. I'm going to start running more, and by the end of the year, by Sober October, I already made this commitment, so I'm really going to try to do it, run a marathon this year, my guy. I'm going to try to do it.
Try to run a marathon.
Yeah.
I don't have any goal like that except to run 1,000 miles this year. Run or elliptical.
Okay. I think I'm
I might not
going
count biking.
to beat you on 1,000 miles if I really stick to this.
Yeah, of course. I'm just trying to get some discipline. And the thing is, like, the physical challenges
Yeah.
I value, but not on the same level as discipline in a work ethic way.
Mhm.
In a way that you're training your mind to think about how do I help myself and help other people along the way. I think about that a lot more than I think, like, can you see my abs, bro? Look at my biceps. You know, I don't think that way. And so I value being healthy, though. And I value having good endurance and at least not becoming a fatty. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some discipline in regular workouts. But luckily I'm not real fat. So if I can keep a good diet and just start working out a little bit every day, I think it'll be good discipline and get my body in a good place easily and quickly. I'm going to challenge myself in a lot of ways, especially with scheduling and working hard to know that if it's time to edit a podcast, if it's time to edit a promo video, if it's time to work on a short sketch, if it's time to work on some animation, you know what I mean? It's time to do that and get it done and then rest. Not this thing where it's like, rest, I'll get it done. I just need to rest right now. You know what I mean? That's something I do struggle with. And it's something that I want to learn how to become better at, as well as figuring out how to market myself better this year. That's a big thing.
Market yourself individually or the company?
Both.
Okay.
With WiseWorks Create, I'll probably be focusing on marketing myself. With WiseWorks Podcast, this is a never-ending way of figuring out how to market this, you know? With our sketches ride right alongside the podcast. So if the podcast becomes successful or grows, so does the sketches, so does that entertainment side. That's what Alex Ferrari talked about. That's why he said the industry changes so much and it's so hard to get involved. Then in this world of media and YouTube and online content and podcasting, maybe you could just do this. I believe that's what he said. He said, you guys could just do this. And I've really leaned into that mentality and said, yeah, if I'm going to make a way for myself, it's going to be through avenues like this podcast. And then it diverts and be like, yeah, because of the podcast, I'm self-employed. I can start making films. I can start creating budgeted for films. I can start learning how to market myself and the company along the way.
I know you have a plan, kind of like a 5-year plan in your mind. We talked about this outside the podcast a little bit. Let's say it comes to the end of the year of 2021. It's still 2021. We've gotten a little bit of more following, so we've gotten a decent amount of following, and someone reaches out to us and says, hey, I'm starting this audio podcast or audio app or something. I'm going to give you a little bit of money, not like Joe Rogan money, but enough for our wealth of followers to jump on this platform and get off YouTube. Would you do it? I mean, I think it's
not right now.
A collective group answer, but I'm
not
just
right
saying
now.
you as an individual.
I would
do you
say
think that?
I might be willing to say I will put us on you as well. But I'm not jumping off YouTube because YouTube is a much bigger following. The only reason I would do something like that is if we were getting started our own thing. And I still don't think I would ever take ourselves off YouTube because YouTube is the number one place for people to find you. If you have your own thing, then you make it like a club. Right?
Or a club?
No, you make it like a club.
The Club WiseWorks podcast.
That people come to see.
Yeah.
But YouTube has the global market right now. So unless that changes, there's no reason for us to take off YouTube. Just create plenty of perks for people to get in your club, but still leave the option for free content on YouTube. What are you smiling at?
you're talking about club. It kind of makes me think of OnlyFans. Like, go to our OnlyFans, nude podcast.
We show our nipples. No, I think that no, I wouldn't do
nude
that.
podcasts.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't take us off YouTube to go somewhere else right now.
Yeah.
We're already on Spotify. We're not getting a Spotify deal. You know what I mean? I would love to start putting the video version on Spotify if they allowed us to, like they do Joe Rogan. That would be awesome. I never see us as a YouTuber, but YouTube is the platform for people to find your videos. And if we create our own place, it's not going to be with the intention of becoming like a YouTube, but it could be the intention of us creating some kind of network that might resemble an Amazon Prime or a Netflix or something far into the future, and it would be a remixed, more current, modern day version of what the market wants, as opposed to just being like a library of entertainment for you to watch.
I just had a thought, and I know it's bad for me to say I have a thought and not tell anybody, but I had a thought that we need to talk about at the podcast involving that. So,
Blue ball on the people.
yes, I am. But come back for season 7. I'll tell you about it.
You will?
No.
You won't say. I'm excited for 2021. We just got a couple more days, man. People see this, you guys watching, just a couple more days left in 2020. What are you going to do to try to restore the name of 2020 in your minds, and so it's not ending on such a low note? It's not ending on just being like, get us out of this year, man.
You know what we should do for 22? Did they, because I have never done this. Do they allow people to go on the beach? Oh, they do go allowed to go to the beach at night. I have done that before. I don't know why I'm saying I'm not. I haven't.
It's cold right now, man.
20, we always do a polar plunge with the Gordons. At least I have.
Yes.
Multiple years. In the ocean.
We can go polar plunge for New Year's if Tim's here.
In the ocean.
Yeah.
Buck naked.
No, not going buck naked.
Buck naked.
Buck naked. Some of the phrases you latch on to, I don't understand them.
I'm just that crazy crack dad who's living his crazy crack dad life.
My guy. I'm seeing my guy everywhere, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I taglined it.
No,
I didn't.
it's a thing, and I didn't realize it.
Mm-hmm. My guy.
You know what is unique? What time are we at? It just crossed over an hour. We can go a few more minutes.
Yeah, I wasn't saying we couldn't.
I was just thinking.
What we seeing everywhere?
My gut was saying the podcast is over.
What we seeing everywhere?
I was just saying. A unique thing is, this is something I think we should end the year going into season 7 talking about. So Crazy Crack Dads, it's kind of like a fun, tongue-in-cheek thing that, be a crazy crack dad. But more importantly is our slogan that's even in the intro is, we're here to make geeks out of you. Yeah. What does that mean for you, as you are one of the people that guide the ship to this podcast and the brand and what we talk about even? I mean, the thing is, there's so much to talk about. Yeah. And podcasts brand themselves based on what they're talking about mixed with the people talking about them. And so it's hard to nail yourself into a niche, but we're at the point where, and we have the maturity level of doing many podcasts, knowing that's what we have to do. Yeah. Because really, every podcast has to do that in order to grow. And so what do you think, especially leaning into our slogan, how do you envision that?
I mean, make geeks out of you, because we always talk about a lot of film stuff and the ins and outs of filmmaking, but not just that. I think also because of our age, I don't consider us old. I know you're old, but I'm not old. I'm kidding. I mean, we started this when we were decently young. So I think not tooting our horn. I'm not saying this is
How old was I?
toot horn, but
How old was I?
I don't know, my guy.
23.
Okay, 23.
Started in
That's fine.
February of 2019. I was 23.
Okay.
That summer, I turned 24. No. I was 24 that summer. No, yeah, I'm right. 23, because I am currently 25.
Not to toot my own horn.
Toot it.
Toot, toot, toot. I just tooted.
Toot.
No, give people, show that we're starting a business and kind of take people along the journey of us starting a business, with that be WiseWorks, if that be some of our side projects that we've done,
Us
or
as
we're doing
people,
more.
if they're interested.
Yes. So they're seeing us as people starting these businesses as young adult men.
And you get to have a front row seat because of this podcast to see us figure it out.
Yeah. Figure out our facial hair, because, sometimes it's not great.
And you haven't got any.
No. I mean, I'm starting to grow. People can see that.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not great. That's
You
why we're
referred to
figuring
them
it
earlier
out.
as pubes on your face.
That's why we're figuring it out.
Figuring it out, man.
Yeah.
And Wyatt's going to be here soon to figure it out. Keep going with your ideas of branding.
He's already
though.
figured it out. You guys
Wyatt.
don't see him, but we see him on
Oh, yeah, Wyatt's got
Zoom
some facial
and
hair.
Skype every
I didn't know
week.
we were still talking about facial hair.
Because he's on the audio form. You guys don't see it, but you're going to see all that. He's younger than me, my guy, and he's got a lot more facial hair than me, my guy.
Yeah. Keep going what you were saying about branding, though, and the slogan, how that relates to your inspiration for this podcast and this journey.
Yeah, I mean, just following us as individuals starting a company, but also being very professional. I think this is something that we also need to work on in the future. I'm not saying we're totally there yet, but being more professional with how we are and how we present ourselves as business owners, as entrepreneurs, but also allowing ourselves to get on this podcast and be crazy crack dads.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And also, the way I see it, it doesn't contradict you at all.
That's a bit contradicting. I don't like that. I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. It doesn't contradict you at all. It actually, I think I'm not here to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to pursue things that I think will fulfill me and to help other people pursue those things that will fulfill them. And along the way, give people an opportunity to geek out and escape and enjoy things about their life. So there's a handful of podcasts that I look forward to every week when they come out. It's like when people used to watch their TV shows. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, my show comes
You're
on.
a nerd for podcasts, though.
Yes, but most people are, though.
Not everybody, though. But most people.
are.
But most people. Yeah.
Most people are.
But nobody. No. I'm kidding.
Most people are.
It's become a thing.
If we can get to the point where people like us to where they're like, yes, my show's coming on, then I'm right in the lane.
Yes, I get to see those nipples again.
Then we're right in the lane
Mm-hmm.
of what I would love to do for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a service. It's not me helping you be a better person. It's not you gaining some kind of wisdom or me inspiring you or being an influencer in any way. I think it's all yucky. I just want you to be entertained and to feel a little lighthearted a bit. Talk about things that are fun and lighthearted and enjoyable and for you to get good feelings out of it.
Good
That's
feelings.
it.
Yeah.
So, we go down the lane and we talked about we are Christians, but we don't live in that lane. You know what I mean? In the same way, we don't talk about politics because these things are not a place that people can feel comfortable in, being apart, being with each other in these topics. Some people grow huge based on these topics, but I don't want to be that kind of person. And I want to entertain everybody. I just want people to have good feelings. And so, here to make a geek out of you. And I want to give you a lot of intricate, fun things and cool stories and exciting laughs and moments and emotional moments that allows you to be a geek and to figure out you got that in you even if you don't think you do.
So this is something, intricate details or funny things outside of the podcast that we can talk about. Interests. I guess we could do a whole podcast on this, but what would you consider, you've not talked about it on this podcast at all. Maybe you haven't really talked about it to most people, except for maybe like your wife. Mm-hmm. What's one interest that you just really enjoy doing that's like you consider yourself a hobby or like just a fun thing you enjoy and you really geek out about? That's just weird that people don't know about you.
Are you thinking about one?
No, I'm just curious to let people know a little bit more about yourself.
The thing is, I'm pretty much an open book.
yeah,
This is not a geeky thing. I'll say this in a second.
yeah,
This is just sort of like a dirty pleasure.
okay,
Okay, but the things that it's not secret, but I don't really talk about it much, is I love brewing my own beer,
mm-hmm.
and I love woodworking.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty dirty.
That's not what I was talking about. The dirty thing is I like watching pimple and cyst pop
Ooh.
videos.
Oh my goodness, my guy.
I like watching them. There's something satisfying about it. I'm not going to make anyone watch them with me. I'm just saying I enjoy them sometimes. It's something satisfying about cleaning out the person's body and getting some mess out of it. You know what I mean?
That's gross. Oh man, that's gross. I do not follow you with that trend.
It's gross. I know.
It comes
it's gross,
for some reason.
but
It comes on my news feed a lot because it thinks I like that, but I don't, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
Dr. Pimple Popper, man.
That's gross. I
She's brought a
don't
lot
like
of
it.
fascinating material to my life.
Man, that's gross. No, sir.
I don't think I'd like it in person.
Mm.
But knowing that there's distance and me being like, ew, look at that. You know what I mean?
No.
That's kind of fun to watch. The distance of me just looking at a screen, not the actual thing.
Yeah, no, thank you. I do not follow that.
But you know, I have other things, and like the woodworking and brewing stuff. That's something that's like a side thing. I'd like to maybe. The thing is, like, whenever I have an idea or an interest, I think, how could I make money doing this?
Yeah.
As a main thing, as a side thing, whatever. Those kind of things would be a side thing. But I'd like to explore even this year options. How do I make money doing woodworking? How do I become a better crafter?
Better woodworker.
Better woodworker.
Woodworker.
And then also just, you know, perfecting flavors and brews and stuff, you know, making things more tasty.
Tasty. Okay.
And maybe somehow collide that with what we've talked about many times, the interest in piracy, the interest in trinkets, but not wanting to like sell trinkets by themselves. You know what I mean?
You know,
like
talking
imagine a table with a pair of black skeleton dice that have been like encoded into the table in like a little gap, but it's like in a case on the table.
I don't want to derail from your topic, but you know, today someone at work, they were like, what do you get like 3 boys that are around 10ish years old for Christmas? And I was like, well, I don't know. Well, I suggested Nerf guns, but I said, let me tell you what I did around that age. Me and my brother got into Pinewood derbying. Pinewood derbies.
Pinewood derbies,
Yes.
Boy Scouts.
And because of that, we got into crafting wooden sword weapons. I said that was weird. Wooden swords
Yes.
that we crafted.
Wooden sword weapons is not wrong. Not weird.
It sounds weird.
No, it's not.
Wooden sword weapons.
Swords.
Yes.
Yeah, crafting them ourselves.
We'd craft them. We'd fight with them. They would break because wood swords break.
Don't
when you
hold
fight
up.
with them. But we got to that.
Yeah.
That was an interesting.
How old are these boys?
He said around 10ish. I don't know exactly age. I think he said like under 10, so that might be not great.
Yeah.
But under 10, you could still get into
A
it.
wooden sword, that's the
Yeah.
way to go. Yeah. Heck yeah. And then when they get, 12, 13, 14 even, you get them the real
Do you think?
swords.
I always joke, mostly on the Midnight Special because we get into more geeky things there, but I always joke, I'm like, we're just a bunch of nerds doing a podcast. Do you think we had that aspect of being like a geeky nerd back then because we would spend hours creating this like wood weapon as teen boys, that most teen boys were playing video games, and like we were like nerding out on these like wood weapons. We're like, it's so good. It's like wood. It's like
Yeah.
hard oak, and we got to make it sharp on both sides so it's like double bladed, and we got to give it a good handle, round handle. Sometimes we put like electrical tape on it to give it like
A nice grip.
because we didn't have a leather.
Make it a good handhold.
Yeah, and then we like give it maybe like a ball at the end.
Yes, I think we were definitely geeks. I think if we knew anything about branding and about preparing for the future at that age, we could have started the podcast then.
Man,
I was thinking about that today.
I don't think we had the money to get equipment though.
No, but the thing is, we could have figured it out. That's the problem. When you're young, you don't think of these things. When you get older, you think of them, and then you start to put into practice your thoughts. And when you're young, you just don't know how to do that correctly. And so you got to forgive yourself for not starting something sooner, and you got to act now that you know what you need to do. And that's what we did with this podcast. We started like almost 2 years ago.
No, we didn't. We started a podcast
Almost 2 years
pretty
ago.
much when I moved here to Virginia. We had a consistent video that was about 10 to 20 minutes that came out once a week. But until I moved here, we had a podcast. We didn't call it a podcast.
That's crazy. We didn't call it a podcast till you moved here.
This was your fault though, because even if you go back and probably watch season 1, I was like, this podcast kind of thing that we have, and you were like, it's not a podcast.
I've said this before. It's because other people in my life were doing podcasts, and I didn't want to just feel like I'm copying other people. I was trying something, but I wanted to do a podcast. I liked the idea, didn't like the branding.
Yeah.
Decided to accept the branding, but keep doing the same idea.
2020 has been a year of growth, but not a lot of doing. Oh, no,
a lot of doing.
Doing for the podcast, not doing outside of the podcast because of COVID. I'll say that.
Yeah.
2021 is going to be
watched
still
a lot
the
of
podcast,
shows.
But outside of the podcast, we're going to do because we don't have COVID anymore. We are COVID free, and we got Italian big noses, and we're slowly growing our mustaches out, and that's what we're doing for 2021. So look forward to the mustache growing and to more to come. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to our other 2 channels because we talked about it, and we're going to come up with content. We got Wiseworks Create. We've got Wiseworks Entertainment. We're also
Wiseworks
on
YouTube
Spotify.
podcast channel.
We're also on
Wiseworks
Spotify.
podcast YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're also on Spotify.
Yep.
So follow us there for the
Wiseworks
Midnight
podcast
Special.
on Spotify.
And you got anything else to close us out?
We're here to make geeks out of you.
And have a
Happy New Year.
Is this the day of New Year's or the day before?
That's the Midnight Special.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Have a good New Year's because it's gonna come in a couple days.
Yeah. Don't blow yourself up with fireworks, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we love you. Please subscribe and follow. Thank you. We'll see you for one last episode of season 6 in the new year.